and it feels good to be able to talk to other creatives, because I think there's certain things, certain elements, it's a certain way of thinking, and certain understanding that two people would have. Yeah. That the average person that's more of an executor, but I think creative, like we create what other people will go and do. Like we create and to be real, I think like without creatives, like, there's no jobs. And so I think what you're trying to do, what I'm trying to do, eventually we can help employ people. Yeah. I remember watching there was the Pivot podcast, Kevin Hart. And I didn't know, man, like he said he employed so many, his brand from just, you think about this dude starting comedy. So where he had a thought and an idea and it branched off to Heartbeat Productions. Right. And, God knows, whatever else he has, but he said he's employed so many families, and I'm pretty sure through, the employment, through the tutelage and, like the mentorship, like he's creating other people that will create brands that will create other opportunities. Right. And that's the thing I think where people kind of put us in this box of like artists. Yeah. They don't understand that it is something behind it. I was watching the Nikki and Moose podcast and they were going over like, I think this dude like Jordans or whatever. Yeah. Then there's another guy that like paintings, and it was some person that was criticizing, like, hey, man, you're charging too much. And he was like, you can't put a price on someone else's art, someone else's vision. Like someone else sees the value in that. Like keep the communication with those folks. Yeah. Don't devalue your thoughts and ideas because someone is basing what you produce on what's in their pocket. Right. You know what I mean? And so I think I try to keep that in mind. And then now going into this new season of my life and this new season of creating, what I'm learning is to let go of what people say or think. Yeah. Just let them think like Sally in Wyoming on Facebook or user 109 or whatever. You have, the right to your opinion of me. That doesn't have to be my reality. And it doesn't have to affect what I create and how I do what I do.
It's hard though. It's hard because eternal shout out to Miss Erykah Badu, but she spoke for all of us when she said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my ish. Yeah, yeah. We make for a reason. We don't make for the money. Yeah. We don't make for the profit. We're not focused on that. Now, we live in a capitalist society that, for better or for worse, has affected how we create. So I've been able to kind of establish a line of demarcation in myself where I may know how to create something that may serve a group of people, but I need some space to make for myself.
Got you.
Right?
I agree.
There's got to be a separation there.
I agree.
There was a time where they were one and the same because I didn't understand that boundary. I didn't know how to do that. I was just doing. Because it starts out from a pure place. Maybe it's from healing. Maybe it's from exploration. Maybe for establishment. But for whatever that is, you got to hold on to that and protect it and hold it somewhere separate from what you're using as a lifestyle. Yep. Because there's this community has so many artists, so many amazing artists. But I've always had an inner challenge with the language being about how to make money from it. It's an important conversation to have. Yeah. It's a necessary conversation to have. But we're skipping the conversation about how do we establish these boundaries to protect our artists. I'm going to sound like the old guy, from selling out.
Exactly. Yeah, man. It's hard.
It's hard. You're trying to eat. You're trying to live. But how do you protect yourself from just doing the shuck and jive,
Yeah, yeah.
When you're trying to eat.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, like you said, loaded question because I think about it all the time. There were opportunities when I first started doing this where I was approached by a few individuals, that to me, it came off like you want to pervert my vision to get out some type of agenda, right? Now, keep in mind that, us creatives, Nick George, myself, people that you're seeing on YouTube, like it takes money. Yeah. And we're coming out of our pockets. It's not like we have a brand deal and, someone's just saying, go buy this, pick this. Like, so you're really not seeing a profit for a while. So you're working off passion. Yeah. And so you develop this level of integrity, what you're trying to do, why you're creating content. You're trying to figure out who are you as a creative, who are you as a person. And at the same time, you're trying to keep it real by making impact. But I think that is like hard of like what line do you draw with these brand deals and everything,
right?
To where you wouldn't let someone come in and change the trajectory of like that vision.
Yeah.
Just to say, okay, now I got to the bag.
Do you remember, and this was back in the day, the Gap had commercials going crazy.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And they, hip hop was starting to blow up. So they said, "Hey, yo, we got an idea. Let's get this fella, LL Cool J."
LL, yeah, I remember he was killing them.
And you remember when he shouted out FUBU in the Gap commercial?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That is such a great example, I think, of you gonna cut the check. And I'm gonna use my art for this, but there's a heart behind it that I actually am about, that I'm keeping for myself. Right. You can have this commercial, but this FUBU part that you don't even really know about, that I really do believe in. Yo, he inceptioned the heck out of that joint.
Yeah.
Man.